Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is for you. I'm sitting back, enjoying a cup of coffee in my great grandmother's rocking chair, with the little one making a pure mess on the floor.
Hey.
Oh, goodness. So, how are you guys doing? I wanted to chat with you very quickly about the importance of gardening when you do not have a home to garden in. So welcome back to the channel if you're brand new. My name is Lauren, and around here we are reviving my great-grandmother's homestead as well as homeschooling our little one and getting into life as life gives it to us. And I wanted to share something that some people probably don't even know of. If you live in an apartment, a townhome, a condo, or if you live in a home that you cannot garden in, you know there is an option for you out there. So let's start with the apartment and condo group. When we were living in an apartment, husband and I were only married for a year and a half, and we had just moved to Minnesota. In that apartment that we were living in, we looked out the window and saw a strip of grass at the back of the parking lot that backed up into the University of Minnesota's agricultural area. It was a ton of crops being grown there. And here's this strip that was like already kind of cultivated. It's almost like they were going to use it and decided, oops, that's not our property. And then they left it. So we asked the apartment people, is it okay if we section that off and grow something? And the first thing he said, well, you get a bunch of people and then y'all can have at it. And that's exactly what we did. We actually found, I think it was about 4 or 5 other apartments that would love to split the land, the strip up into chunks, and we all grew something. That was the first year I ever grew corn on my own. It was also the first year that I realized how beans could like latch on to corn or to other things and grow up, and you get like a two for oneer. I think it's called Three Sisters by the native groups that have always grown it that way. And so I learned about it, I tried it, and it works. And so I didn't technically need to do it in order to know that it works. I trust my ancestors, our country's ancestors, that it worked. But it was cool to see it firsthand and not just in a book. I also grew strawberries. I also grew zucchini. And that's when I realized I don't like it. I will dry it out and throw it into some chocolate muffins. But me and zucchini ain't best friends. I don't need to fry that to eat that. It taste is not that great for me. But I grew all kind of things in my little chunk. And so I was driving around the back half of that land, and I saw another chunk that was carved out there, and kind of find out it belonged to the community center that was at the next corner. And that is option number 2. If you cannot get the land or a chunk of grass carved out for you at your apartment or your townhome, Legos, then check out a community center. So a community center is a wonderful place to actually garden in. Number one, it's already fenced off. It's already prepped for you. You just pay or reserve. Some places are free. So you just reserve your chunk and you find out how large it is, and then you can pick your fruits and vegetables accordingly. Some places even have fruit trees already lining that chunk of land, and you guys get to share the fruit trees. Other places will have restriction, like you cannot plant a tree, but you can grow almost anything else. So if you're in an area that does not allow you to grow, you can always seek out your community centers. Today's breakfast is brought to you by some wonderful eggs, the hot commodity of 2025, coffee, and some sausage. And so we make our own coffee cream around here. This is actually chocolate milk that I made for my son. And then this is a chocolate almond creamer that I made. Chocolate mint creamer. So in the springtime, I preserve a couple different things that last us all year. And one of them is vanilla extract. I start making that in spring so that it's ready to rock and roll by Christmas. And then another one is mint extract. I usually do that closer to June, July when the mint plant is thriving and living. But I also like to can pineapple and what else comes to mind? Oh, broth. I do lots of broth in the springtime, cleaning out that deep freezer to make space. So those projects are ahead, guys. Pay attention because I will share exactly how to do it and give you a little shopping list of what to grab so you can do that. So in the meantime, I'm going to keep enjoying the last bit of mint extract and vanilla extract with my breakfast. All right, so option number 3, if you do not have space to garden and you would like to get your hands in the dirt this spring and summer, will be to reach out to local farmers who have extra space or who could use a farmhand. So extra space meaning that they have a little plot they don't mind renting out to you, and you could do the same thing as in option 1 and 2. The other piece will be a farm hand. Now, I have never volunteered or got paid to be a farm hand, but you can. That means you get to learn the inner workings of a functional farm or large garden. And so our co-op that we had in Minnesota that we actually bought vegetables from, they had farm days where they volunteered and opened up, please come down and help. They got to dig up some rows to get some new things down, and you got to walk away with baskets of things. But that was like a 1-day volunteer service that was not for the norm. However, they did have farm hands on hand. So if you have the ability to drive out, you have some days that are free, they will really, really appreciate it. And guess what? You get to walk away with some goodies. So think of that option too. If you really want to learn, you really want to practice, you really want to try, get your hands in the dirt and grow something, try being a farm hand at a farm. All right, so last option, and probably the easiest of them all. You don't have time, you don't have space, you cannot drive, you don't have the money to do all that. The last thing you need, or the last thing you can get, is a CSA. I've done a video on that before of how to find them, how to sign up for them. I can link that up above. But that is the best option, is to get food directly from the farmer. You'll pay a fee up front. Whatever they grow, they'll give you a percentage or a poundage, and then you bring it home and enjoy it and preserve it. My husband and I have been doing that since, oh goodness, I want to say the 1900s, like my son said. Have y'all gotten that yet from a little kid? What happened in the 1900s? You'd be like, we talking 1902 or we talking about 1992? Like, come on. But anyway, yeah, so we've been doing it since early 2000s. And before we were able to actually do the homestead, we went straight to the farmer's market, which is probably the easiest, but has the least amount of dedication to it because you can go whenever you want. But if you want dedicated fruits and veggies that arrive to you on a weekly basis, check out a CSA. You'll get the farm fresh goodies. Sometimes they'll offer a discount if you become a farmhand for a day or two. And then sometimes they'll offer a discount if you stack different CSAs. For example, the fruit and veg will be one, and then you can add on meat, you can add on eggs, you can add on jams and bread. So the more you stack on that price, the cheaper it becomes. Okay, guys, so that's quick and simple for you guys. A few different ways to get some farm fresh goodies. And if you live in an apartment, you live in a condo, townhome, you have some restrictions such as an HOA, and you still want farm fresh goodies, it's very difficult, and I understand. I've lived that way pretty much all the way to the last 3 years. In the last 3 years, I have had full access to my great-grandparents' property, in which I can grow whatever I want. But my parents, they're the restriction. Yes, they're putting a restriction on me. But until I finish breaking them in, I have full access to grow all kinds of stuff. So if you would like to get some farm fresh goodies in there, escape all the additives that our country loves throwing in American food, and you want to learn, because the best thing in life is to get that knowledge up here. If you do that, hopefully these tips will help you. If you have any questions, feel free to put them below. If you have another suggestion that worked for you and I have not mentioned, please put that below. Other people really can benefit from it. Until next time, guys, like, subscribe, and I'll see you. Thanks for dropping by.